Hello, welcome back. Eurostar trains have resumed today after flooding caused mass cancellations yesterday, leaving thousands of passengers stranded. Operators, though, are warning these delays could continue with only one tunnel operational and speed restrictions in place. Let's talk to the travel expert Simon Calder, joining us live from St Pancras. Hi, Simon, good to see you. So things are moving, are they?
They are. They started this morning about 10 minutes late. The very first train left St Pancras International after a day and a half of absolute chaos. This was going non-stop to Paris. It's well on its way. Delayed a bit during the problems with the Thames Tunnel. Just to kind of go back to where we are, yesterday morning at 4 a.m., HS1, High Speed 1, the company that runs the link from here at St Pancras International to the Channel Tunnel, and then onwards, of course, through to France, Belgium and the Netherlands, said, sorry, there's a problem with flooding beneath the Thames. The line goes from Essex through to Kent, and
yeah,
they
we
had
can see that now.
flooding there. Yeah, really, really bad flooding. They couldn't run trains through it. They tried during the day to clear some of the water. They couldn't do that. Eventually, all 41 trains travelling from here to Paris, Amsterdam and Brussels and in the opposite direction were cancelled. As a result of that, more than 30,000 people had their New Year travel plans torn up. And while there are running trains planning to run a full service today, they tell me at Eurostar they are not going to be able to have any extra trains, which means that those 30,000 people are now at the back of the queue. I've just been inside. Long line of people waiting to try to switch to a train today, but unfortunately they're being told, sorry, we haven't got any availability. You're going to have to wait a couple of days in some cases to get back. And meanwhile, of course, people so emotionally invested in their journeys, just desperate to get to their loved ones in time for the New Year's celebration.
And that's the point. That's the point, isn't it, Simon? With all this, yes, trains might be running, albeit slowly, and like you say, no more trains being put on. But people are in the wrong place. They've still got really no hope of getting where they want to be.
Well, that is so sad. I've been watching the alternative forms of transport. So let's start with the planes. There's a couple of seats, I understand, on British Airways from Brussels this afternoon that are on sale for about getting on for £400. BA's last seat from Paris to London Heathrow for today went last night for £700. I don't blame the airlines. They're providing a service. Even on the buses, which is always the budget alternative, Flixbus have only one bus today from Paris to London with any seats available. And that, unfortunately, is going to be leaving at 11:30 at night. So you would spend the beginning of 2024 on a bus on a French motorway. It's looking pretty tough for all those people who were stuck yesterday. And I tell you what, even if you're just travelling within the UK, it's a miserable day for tens of thousands of people. Train cancellations running into the hundreds, both here at St Pancras International, particularly with Thameslink trains, over at King's Cross, the hub for LNER on the East Coast main line to Yorkshire, North East England and Scotland. We have more than 20 intercity trains either cancelled or curtailed, not running the full route. And then Northern trains, oh goodness, they put out a do not travel notice for 6 of their routes, including Manchester to Chester, because they simply have no staff available.
Yeah, and that's the point, isn't it? Unbelievable to think at this time of year they can't find staff to run the trains.
Well, it's because it's a Sunday. And if you work for Northern Trains, then if you're employed on the west side of the Pennines, in the Lancashire side, then Sunday isn't part of your working week. And therefore, it's entirely up to you. And if it's New Year's Eve, you might think, actually, I don't fancy working, thanks. I'll stay, spend the day with the family. And that's perfectly legitimate. On the east side of the Pennines, then Sunday is part of the working week, so therefore there will be more trains. But it's also...
Simon, what kind of recompense can people get? We've heard people forking out hundreds for their journeys that have been kiboshed. But can people automatically get compensation? Do they have to apply for it?
Well, if your train isn't running, then you get a refund of the fare. That's very straightforward. There will also be an awful lot of people who are delayed with their journeys today, and you can get delay repay. With the case of Eurostar, well, it's very, very different. I mean, St Pancras International, pretty much the size of a large airport like Edinburgh or Luton. And if that closed down for 24 hours, all the airline passengers would have loads of rights. They've got to be got to their destination. They might be entitled to cash compensation. Whatever the problem, the airline has to sort it out. Eurostar simply says, well, if you're spending £600-700 on a flight ticket, we'll give you the cost of your ticket back, but we're not going to make up the difference. So it might be that travel insurance is the way forward, but it's still a very bleak time for tens of thousands of passengers who are trying to rely on railway to get where they need to be for New Year. And it's all gone, as they say in the travel industry, tango uniform.
Simon, good to talk to you, as always. We wish you a happy New Year. Thank you very much indeed for your time today. Thank you. Simon Calder.